From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE PBS and its streaming platforms to provide updates on communities throughout Central Tennessee.
Hi, and welcome to Live at 5. My name is Craig LeFevre. I'm the station manager here at WCTE. We're glad to be here with you this evening on Live at 5. We have with us today Wayne Key, who's the extension agent here in Cookeville for the UT Agricultural Extension Service, and we're going to be talking a little about our springtime interest, maybe looking outdoors to gardens, lawns, things like that. We'll see what comes up. But Wayne, welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So it is getting springtime. People are wanting to get out in the yard and do some things. What is the top concern that you have this year? What are people asking you about?
Yeah, this time of year, of course, spring gets really busy for us because we get, people, I guess we've come out of winter. Temperatures are warming up. We're getting some spring rains, and people have lots of questions. They're outside in their yard. They've noticed something that's different or not the same as it was, or they've got a problem or an issue, and that's when we get those calls. I like to joke around and tell everybody at the office, for me, for extension, in the agriculture sector, those Fridays and Mondays are very important and very busy because people on Fridays want to know, well, what seed should I buy? What chemicals should I use? What can I do over the weekend when I'm off from work to take care of whatever the issue is? And then Mondays are busy because people have been out in the yard all weekend and they've discovered that, hey, there's an issue, a problem, an insect, whatever is going on. And I get lots of calls and office visits on those days.
Yeah. So as we can expect, if we go out to Lowe's this afternoon or tomorrow or Saturday, we're not going to be able to get a parking place.
Yeah.
And most of those people are going to be planting annuals, planting perennials. What are they doing?
Yeah, we got a lot of people right now gardening. Gardening is very popular with the pandemic, with COVID. A lot of people have discovered that, hey, not only do I want to know where my vegetables and fruits and crops come from, but maybe I have the time now and the effort and want to carry on with producing some stuff myself. And so people this time of year are looking at perennials and flowers and whatnot. They want to beautify their landscape, their patios, their front porches. And so we get a lot of questions and a lot of interest, I guess you'd say, this time with even vegetable gardening. We're still a few weeks away before really getting those summer warm season vegetables in the ground. So people definitely be on the lookout for good deals on some plants and things that you can get planted. Really, the biggest thing that we see that is popular right now is lawns. We get a lot of lawn questions this time of year. It's spring of the year. They've had weeds in their lawn all the winter long, and so they want to either do some renovations or come in and do something that beautifies and improves their yard. And lots of things can be done there. The number one thing I'll tell people is if they're going to do something to their yard regarding fertilizer or seed, the first thing to do and to start with is to do a soil test. And we do those at the office. Right. You can bring your soil in for that vegetable garden, for your lawn. With those, go to a laboratory in Nashville, the University of Tennessee laboratory at Ellington. They're tested. You get your results back in about 7, 8, 9 days from the through email. And from there, then how much fertilizer to put out, what type of fertilizer to put out, and what really the ground needs in order to grow a good crop.
Mm-hmm. So most of those tests around here are probably going to come back, and the main thing is usually what, nitrogen?
Yeah.
Is that something that's good to put on in the spring, or should we wait again until fall?
This time of year is an excellent time to put on what we call a complete fertilizer, which has all 3 numbers on the bag. So as you look at a bag of fertilizer, if it has 10-10-10, those are all 3 components in the fertilizer on a relative basis based on 100 pounds. So at a 10-10-10 would be 10% nitrogen, which is the first number. Phosphorus is the second number, that's the P, and the third number, K, which is potassium. So 10-10-10 would have 10% active ingredient or active product per 100 pounds. So that's how that's kind of measured out. Those results that you get back from the laboratory will tell you so many pounds per 1,000 square feet or per foot of row space in your garden. It'll tell you then, the rate to put. So you're putting out exactly what you need. And yes, now's a great time to get those products out there. We're still good enough of a time if you want to put on a weed and feed product for crabgrass prevention for those summer perennials that'll be coming back. This is a good time to do those things here now. Early April would work really well in your yard.
Oh, great. We had last into last summer, we had a little bit of an invasion. I know a lot of people lost their beautiful lawns and had to make some adjustments there. What was that all about?
Yeah, we had an influx of what we call the fall armyworm. That time of year in September here in Cookeville and in Putnam County and across the Upper Cumberland, we had a lot of dry air. We had a lot of warm, dry soil. And so those particular adults, which are flying insects, were able to catch that southerly flow of wind up from the Gulf. We had a lot of that fronts that come through that brought that warm weather up. And so those adults are able to catch that jet stream, that air, and come north more north than, let's say, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, where they deal with fall armyworms every year. For us, it was a new thing. We hadn't seen those. The adults landed in this area and laid eggs, and then 3 days later, you had a small worm that eventually developed into a larger worm that was very ferocious, eat quite a bit, and destroyed in just a matter of days many yards. And I had lots of phone calls and lots of photographs and pictures, and went out and looked at several yards and tried to help people come up with an answer for what to do. And once they've come through, and they came through as they did, and once the adults have left, the caterpillar had left. The only thing left to do was to come in and try to reseed in the fall, sometime in the month of September, early October, get some seed back out there and hopefully renovate that yard in the fall of the year. I do get a lot of questions. People want to ask me this time of year about seeding, putting out grass seed. And I'd like to talk about that, or just mention, now is not a great time to seed. We really recommend the fall of the year. In the month of September, for example, is a great time to seed. For your lawn, we really recommend a turf type variety of seed. There's several on the market. When you go into a lawn and garden center, a co-op, a Tractor Supply, your Lowe's store or Home Depot, you're looking for that turf type variety of fescue seed, because those have been bred and genetically altered so that they grow short. They're darker green. They perform well under close 3-inch mowing, for example. They like that kind of environment. And fall allows them to establish, get started, get the roots developed throughout the winter, and be ready to go come spring. The worst thing now about planting in the spring when it comes to grass seed is the fact that it's going to germinate. It will turn green. Your yard will look great. You'll look amazing. You'll be very happy. You'll have spent a lot of money, more than likely. And come about June or July, when it gets dry, those little plants are going to take a hit, and they're really going to suffer. The only way you could really do spring seeding this time of year in the spring is if you have an irrigation system. Then you could keep that watered, you could keep those plants healthy and viable, and do a good job. I tell people not to plant seed right now when it comes to your lawn, because if they do die out, you're still going to come back and have to reseed again in the fall. So the cost there is going to be double. By the time you seed in the spring, those die, and you seed again in the fall. So
okay, well, that's good advice. We got a few minutes left here. You told me earlier you've got an event coming up with the Cookeville Master Gardeners. Tell me.
Yeah, Master Gardeners, our Putnam County Master Gardener group. We have about 45 members that are very active, very strong. They have a greenhouse at the fairgrounds that they seed and raise many vegetable plants, tomatoes, peppers, several varieties of jalapenos and bell peppers and all types of colors. I think they have over 40 varieties of tomatoes this year they're offering. So on April the 30th, which is a great time to start your garden, by the way, that's going to be going on at the Putnam County Fairgrounds on Saturday, April the 30th from 8 to 2. Gates will be open. They'll do cash or check, or they've even got they'll be able to take credit cards as well. And it's a big event. We've not been able to have it, of course, Craig, in the last couple of years. And so we're very excited about that. They've worked hard. They started planting seeds early in February. The plants look amazing. They have a huge offering of plants. You can go to the Putnam County Master Gardener Facebook page or our UT Extension Facebook page, and you can even go ahead and pre-order and buy online and order your plants and see what the offerings are now. So that's something that's new this year is, the online purchases.
Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah, because I don't know if you're like me, you've got a favorite tomato, and you've tried to seed them already, and you may have done well, you may not have.
Yeah.
But they're going to have, if they got 40 varieties of tomatoes, they ought to be able to cover.
We have
anybody.
tons of tomatoes. They have cherry type tomatoes, salad type tomatoes, Romas, for example, Cherokee purple, the list of celebrities, the big boys, the ones you've all heard of, the master gardeners. They do a great job. They really know what they're doing. They offer their plants at a good price for the community, and it's a great community event. Bring your wagon, bring your trailer. People bring all kind of stuff, wheelbarrows to haul plants out to the car with, and we're there to assist. All the master gardeners are there that day to answer questions. We get questions about how to plant, where to plant, that kind of thing. So it's a fun event. We're looking forward to that.
Well, great. If somebody needs to know more, if they watch this show and they say, I need to know more.
Yes, that's what we're there for. Yes.
How do they get a hold of you? How do they get a hold of somebody at the extension office?
Yeah, our UT extension office for Putnam County. We're a research-based University of Tennessee institute based on education. So we're there to answer questions, help you find answers to your questions. We're at 900 South Walnut Avenue here in Cokeville. We're on the backside of the fairgrounds, basically. Our number is 526-4561. You can reach us that way. You can email me at jkey3@utk.edu. I get pictures and emails all the time with questions. Call the office. I'll be glad to help you. Go to our Facebook page, our website. There's tons of ways to reach us. Come in the office. Just come visit with us. We'd love to see you. So that's certainly something that we want people to know, that we are open and we're ready for business, and we'd love to have you come by and visit with us.
Yeah, come out there and look at the gardens around the extension office. Is beautiful in the summer and the fall. I don't know what they look like right now.
They look good. They're master gardeners. They take care of the grounds around the office building. They take care of the courthouse. They do several places. Farmers Market, for example, is another place that they maintain the beauty and the landscape for sure.
Okay. Well, great. All right. Well, it's going to be a couple minutes here. We've got a break coming up. We're going to have after the break, we will have Ray Cutcher from Tennessee State Parks. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to your April PBS Passport Update. I'm Josh Deepin with WCTE PBS. In case you missed it, Sanditon Season 2 will be available only on Passport after it broadcasts. Simply log in, sit back, and catch up. If you're hungry for some nail-biting British content, both seasons of Cobra, a show about cyber warfare in modern-day London, are streaming only on Passport. Fun fact, if you've got an April birthday, that's something you have in common with none other than Loretta Lynn. The famous coal miner's daughter singer-songwriter discusses her life and career in My Story in My Words on a Passport-exclusive special. Spring is in full swing. Get in touch with your artistic side and paint some landscapes alongside Bob Ross by streaming the best of the joy of painting. Other popular PBS series available on Passport include Great Performances, Austin City Limits, and America's Test Kitchen. If you're a Nicola Walker fan, star of such shows like Unforgotten, you'll love her new show, available for streaming only on Passport. The brand new series Annika features Walker as a detective with a troubled work life and as a troubled mother at home. This show is highly anticipated and not available for broadcast, so if you want to watch it, log on and start streaming on or after the April 17th premiere. Lastly, Benjamin Franklin, a new documentary by Ken Burns, premieres this month. If you missed the broadcast, then you can catch up with a Passport membership benefit starting April 25th. Franklin's fascinating life as an ambassador, inventor, and founding father is nothing if not incomparable. Watch that and many other Ken Burns specials on Passport. If you're not yet a member of WCTE PBS and are interested in becoming one, head to wcte.org/passport for information on how to sign up, or scan the QR code below using your smartphone or tablet. That's it for the April PBS Passport Update. I'm Josh Deepin. Happy spring, and keep streaming.
On the next episode of It's Your Business, we take a trip through the past with guest Louis Matheny, owner of Harper's Rare Books and Collectibles, and Ray and Charlene Knotgrass, owners of Knotgrass History. Join us right here for another incredible episode of It's Your Business.
My name is Donna Matson, Director of Human Resources and Business Operations with WCTE PBS. Did you know the broadcasting industry in Tennessee is thriving and offers exciting career opportunities? WCTE has immediate openings for your consideration. Benefits include health, dental, vision, life, retirement, sick time, vacation, holidays, and AFLAC. Visit WCTE.org. Come join our team.
Welcome back to WCTE's Live at 5. I'm Craig LeFevre, Station Manager. Happy to be hosting Live at 5 today. Our first guest was Wayne Key from the Agricultural Extension Service. He was real interesting, and we have someone else who's going to be at least as interesting as Wayne was, and that's Ray Cutcher from Tennessee State Parks. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good to have you here. So just quick introduction. What's going on in parks today?
Well, the weather's nice today. People are getting out a little bit more. As April gets further in, we get more and more busy. People want to get outside and enjoy the warm weather.
Yeah. Are there, now I know you're at Cummins Falls.
Correct. Yeah.
How long have you been at Cummins Falls?
About 10 years.
Is that right? Since since the state purchased it, or
since we purchased it?
Yeah.
Yes, the day after we bought it.
You've got some history over there. Then that's and I've seen I haven't been over there in the last year, I don't guess, but there was a lot of improvements from when it started. Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, we built a visitor center and more office space, which is a place for our visitors to come and be introduced to the area and what's there, and then we also have space to do inside programs where we didn't have before, and so it's a little nice for welcoming when people arrive than maybe what it was once before.
Yeah, well, that's good. I also noticed there's a corresponding increase in traffic a few years ago.
Yes.
I remember going out there a decade ago, and they're not being, we might be the only ones out there walking around. It's not the case anymore, is it?
No, it's not. After we opened as a park, visitation each year grew. It was unbelievable how much it grew. Really, it got to the point where it was out of hand, actually. And so we had to try to think of what do we need to do. Visitation is out of control. People aren't maybe enjoying their experience as much as they once were, and therefore we were also, because of the sheer numbers and people maybe not being prepared for the outing they were going on, we ended up having a lot of accidents as well.
Well, that's been we see that. We typically don't think very much about it until we see something in the news, and unfortunately, we've seen that a couple of times in the last 5 or 6 years. Tell us a little bit about what you've done to improve the safety out there, and to generally just assist people in doing what they want to do when they come to a park.
Well, since I just mentioned the visitation being so high, one of the things we did, we try to get control of that, get a handle on our numbers each day, and so we did some research and decided that a permit system was going to serve our needs. And so two years ago, we implemented the permit system where a person, if they're coming to the park, they don't need a permit. If they're just going to go to the overlook or hike some of the other trails. But if we want to go down in the gorge to the base of the waterfall, where most of the people wanted to go to, and that's where our problems generally were, then you have to get a permit to get down there. And that way we're able to only give out so many permits at a time or in a day. And that limits the number down there, so people can have a better experience and enjoy their experience. And it also helps us manage the number of accidents and those kind of things better as well.
Is there a lot of supervision right around the falls?
There is, yeah. Along with that, we learned long years ago that we needed to keep a few people down to base of the falls all day long, just to watch out for safety issues and just try to keep things under control.
What kind of safety issues do you encounter? What kind of things do you hate to see happen?
Well, people climbing on cliffs right beside the waterfall, for instance, were very slippery, and they have a high probability of falling. People who get in the water and aren't used to natural waterways and get themselves in trouble and start struggling, possibly drown. People slipping just crossing on rocks. It's very slippery down there and getting injured. So we have people down there who can address those things, hopefully before they happen, sometimes immediately after they happen.
What I know that as you well know, there was a mill there for a long time just above there, and that was one of the things that caused the mill not to be in use more than it was the flash floods, and that we still have those periodically. Do you all have equipment to predict those now, and do you do things differently when you know there might be conditions might be right?
Yeah, when we first opened the park, I guess we had no idea of the probability of true flash floods in that particular creek. And now that we do, we have some mechanisms upstream. Actually, after one of our floods, some professor at Tennessee Tech, Dr. Evan Hart, got in touch with me and said, I have some things that maybe could help you. And so we worked with Tennessee Tech some and got some information and learned some things that we could do. And we put some stream gauges, I should call them, upstream of us. There's 7 locations that have gauges that can measure the depth of the water. And they also have rain gauges that can tell us how much rain in a certain amount of time. And so those are preset gauges. So if the water rises a certain number of inches in a certain time frame, it sends us a text message and lets us know. So then before a flood happens, we know that the water is rising miles upstream of us.
Right.
And so therefore we can take action and get people out and move them out if we need to.
Yeah.
And the reason we needed that, because it could be storming a few miles upstream of us and dropping a lot of rain, and we wouldn't even know it at the park.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's a wonderful system to have in place. Has that reduced your incidence of emergency?
That along with a number of other things. The National Weather Service also keep an eye out, and they'll alert us sometimes when they see something coming before our gauges would even have a chance to receive the rain. And then we have radar. We're watching the National Weather Service radar throughout the day. We have our watershed drawn on the map. So if a storm comes into our watershed, we immediately know it, and we can immediately get people out without even really having to rely on the gauges. We have a number of layers to help protect that, because we don't want to rely on any one layer and then something fail.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you've got you really increase the safety and everybody's consciousness of it out there. So we're seeing big numbers of visitors. Where are most people coming from? Are they local, or are they coming from out of town?
Most of them from Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Maybe not the immediate counties right here touching us, but from Middle Tennessee. But I said most of them. I'm going to back up. In the beginning, it was most of them. Now, honestly, throughout the summer, over 70% of our visitors were from out of state.
Wow. That's an amazing draw for our community. It's a wonderful thing to have that coming in. Now, you mentioned to me several other parks around that are waterfall parks, the Fall Creek Falls.
Yeah, in this area we're blessed with some beautiful scenery with waterfall parks and have a lot of steep cliffs and steep bluffs, which also they have a lot of the same safety issues that we have when people with getting warmer, people are wanting to come out and enjoy those places, and water attracts people, especially in the heart of summer.
Yeah.
So there are things that would probably help people to be more prepared and have a more safe, enjoyable outing. And one of those would simply be going to our website before they go and do a little bit of planning.
What's the website address?
It's tnstateparks.com.
Okay, and you can look at the state park that you're going to and find out what the conditions are, maybe what you need to bring, what you need to wear.
Yeah, and learn a little bit about if you're going on a particular hike, what the hike might be like, those kind of things.
I looked at that website, and there's another one, Trails, All Trails. I think it was All Trails, but anyway, over at Window Cliff, which is a new area, at least as far as the state control goes. It was a bad trail that you had to go to. It's
a rugged trail.
It's a rugged trail.
Rugged, yes.
So do you work over there at all?
I don't. No.
I've not been over there in forever myself.
But their hike is very similar to our hike going into Burgess, maybe with more water crossings.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's I remember that. But so in a couple minutes we got left, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. I would just like to reiterate to people, if you're going into natural waters, which a lot of people, it's very different than a swimming pool, which a lot of people spend most of their life going into. You go in the natural waterway, there are a whole different set of issues to deal with. And the number one thing people can do to help increase their safety is wear U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket. That's number one thing. And we see that so often with people who come out to our pool and they'll be walking on what they think is shallow water and take another step and they're in deep water all of a sudden. And just having a life jacket on can prevent so many things from happening.
Yeah, well, that's good advice anywhere. I mean, if you look at TWRA's website, it says the same thing. If you look at the Corps of Engineers website, it says the same thing. Wear your life jacket.
Yes.
And it can't be, I don't think it can be emphasized near enough because even if you're a strong swimmer, things happen. Whether you're, and you think, well, I need a life jacket if I'm in a boat, but it's not just boats that you need a life jacket around. Those, I know I've waded a lot of creeks and the footing could be bad sometimes.
Yes.
You can get your foot caught in limestone rocks pretty quickly, and
Yes.
but that's good advice.
And perhaps you maybe once were a good swimmer. It's been 10 years since you've been swimming.
Yeah.
And you don't know it, but you're not as strong a swimmer as you once were.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure.
And the current can play into all that.
Exactly. And I know that I'm a better floater than I used to be, but probably not a strong swimmer. So what are the hours out there at the park? What time can people come?
We're open from 8 until 6.
From 8 until 6
8 till 6
every day,
every
weekends included.
Weekends included.
What's your schedule like on holidays? I imagine you all are open and
We're open every holiday, same hours, 8 to 6.
you're
Yes.
still fully staffed, just like.
Yes, we are.
Well, that's great.
Probably more so on the holidays.
Yeah, I would imagine we got more people coming in. Well, it's been good to have you here. We're just about out of time, and I guess I need to wrap this up here in a minute. But we're glad to have you, Ray.
Thank you.
And everybody can go to the Tennessee State Parks website. Check out the information they have there for you before you go out, and be prepared. And you'll have a lot better time. It won't be as risky, and you can just get out and enjoy yourself in the wilds of Tennessee. We're going to take a short break and come back, and I'll wrap up the show, and we'll go right now.
Good morning, Moole High School.
So like right now, the senior class is stressing over college apps.
Please begin.
I would love UC Berkeley, Harvard, Stanford, Columbia.
I guess you're just looking at like the cream of the crop right here.
I work hard and I strive to be a nerd.
The pressure is insurmountable at times.
Oh my God!
It's the best.
WCTE's Great TV Auction is May 31st through June 12th. All of the behind-the-scenes action is underway, and we need your help. Join in on all the fun by becoming a donation solicitor. For more information, please contact Miranda Maynard via email or call 931-528-2222.
Online is Ancestry.com. MyHeritage is another one. There's a whole lot of information on the internet that you start digging for it and you'll find it. And a lot of resources at your state libraries and at your local libraries. The resources that I started using was before the internet, and that was the library. The library was the most important resource. A lot of people forget about it nowadays and just do the internet searches, but there's so much more information at the library that's undiscovered. It'd be well worth your time if you're interested in doing genealogy to go to the libraries, local libraries and the state libraries, especially state libraries.
Just wanted to say thanks for watching Live at 5 here on WCTE. It's been good to have our guests today. Been good to have you tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week for more great local information. Be sure to go out and like us on Facebook and Instagram or YouTube or whatever you do on those sites. We've got We've got content on all of them. You might want to look at our WCTE phone app. You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store and download that app. You can get all kind of updates about events, push notifications about things going on at WCTE. Go to WCTE.org. That's our website. You can find out more about our shows and upcoming events. You'll notice there's a little red donate button at the top, and if you click that, you can become a member, and you can get even more great PBS and WCTE content with Passport. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next week.
From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Join us back for the encore on Sunday at noon. A brand new show of Live at 5 will return at 5 p.m. next Thursday. Thank you for watching.